Okay, so just going through some questions from 2.6. Question 5, write the following fractional percentages as decimal. So let's do the first one, 1/4. So to write it as a fraction, first of all, I know it's asking for decimal, but let's write it as a fraction. 1/4% mean a quarter divided by 100. And we know from fractions that divided by 100 is like dividing by 100 over 1, and we can multiply, flip that. So now we have 1 over 400. And to answer a question turning into a decimal, we now, step 2, we have to use division. So 1, 400. 400 into 1 goes 0, put a decimal point. 400 into 10, also 0. 400 into 100, also 0. 400 into 1,000, 2. So 2 times 400 is 800. Subtract. Bring the next 0 down. 400 into 2,000 goes 5 times. So that is our answer. 5 times 400 is 2,000. Remember 0. So our answer is 0.0025. Okay, question 8. What is the equivalent decimal for the fraction 13 1/3%? 13 1/3 is 13.3333334%. So when we say percent, we can move the decimal place twice or divide by 100. So 1, 2. So now we have 0.13333, which is 0.13 with a little dot on top. So they all look the same because that's a hint. Now let's give ourselves a little bit more space. So how do we write that as a fraction? So this goes back to what we learned earlier. We let a equals our decimal that we want to turn into a fraction. And then we multiply by 10a to get 1.33333, etc. And we notice that when we subtract, this time's a little bit different. We get 9a equals 1 point. These guys disappear. 3 take away 1 is 2. So now, when we divide by 9 on both sides, we have a equals 1.2 over 9, which is 12. I'm going to decimal point once for both of them, over 90. Now, without a calculator, if you're not confident in dividing straight away, you can do simple ones and go slowly. So divide by 2, we have 6 over 45. Then we realize we can divide by 3. 3 into 6 goes twice, and 3 into 45 is 15. So that's our answer. The next question that was asked was question 11. It's a bit time-consuming screenshotting everything, so I just screenshotted a chunk. Gina has 9.5% pay rise, so arrow going up because we know it's going up. What fraction of her salary does this represent? So a fraction of the salary. So the salary is everything she get paid, so that's 100%. So the pay rise is 9.5. Let's write it as a decimal, 9.5. So 9.5% over 100%. What fraction is that? So let's move the decimal point once. That is 95 over 1,000. But of course, we can't leave our answer like that. We have to simplify. Well, again, think of numbers that are easy. So right now, we can see that 5 fits into there. So 5 into 9 goes once, remainder 4. 5 into 45 goes 9 times, 19. Then 5 into 10 goes twice, and 0, 0. So 19 over 200. And that is our answer. What's the next question we will ask? Question 15. A car company introduced a new car which is blah blah more fuel efficient than the previous model. What fraction of fuel efficiency does this represent? So 7.5 over 100 is how much it's comparing to 7.5 over the total 100. So again, how do we do this? Move the decimal point once. So now we have 75 over 1,000. Again, dividing by 5. 5 into 7 goes once. 5 into 25 goes 5. 5 into 1,000 is 200. I cheated because it's over there. Now, we look at it and we're like, is this the simplest form? We can fit 5 in here 3 times and 5 in here 40 times. So 3 over 40. Is that the simplest form? Yes, it is. Now we can stop. Question 15, then question 17. A rugby league, blah, blah, bruising and strains is 30%. Then we have fractures is 16%, and we have concussions 9%. Let's look at the different questions. Let's do part A. Write each of these as fractions. Okay, that seems easy enough. Part A. So we have 30%, 30%. Simplify that. 16%. Simplify that. Let's divide that by 2. We have 8 over 50. Can divide by 2 again. 4 over 25. 9%. Let me just fix that 6 because we'll need it in a second. Can you divide that by anything? No. So that's it. Question B. Let's do it in different colors so you know where we're up to. B. What fraction of the total number of injuries do they represent? So this plus this plus this, and it's asking for fraction. So we already have fractions here with the common denominator, so there's no point using this one because it's ugly, they're all different. So we're going to use this 30 plus 16 plus 9 as a fraction. So let me write it out. 30, oops, I said 30 and I wrote 13. 30 plus 16 plus 9. Oops, I'm getting tired. Sorry. 30 plus 16 is 46. 46 plus 9 is 55 over 100. Go back, double check what fraction, 55 over 100. We always have to simplify. So we can see that they both fit into 5. So that's 11 and that is 20. That's, whoopsie daisy. That's our answer for part B. Right, part C. I'm running out of color. Let's do grey. What fraction of the total number of injuries are due to other? So these are the things we're talking about. So other would be 100% minus the things we're talking about. What are the things we're talking about? So all of these things. And they want the answer in fractions. So there's 2 ways to do this. Now we know that this is what we're talking about. 100% is 1, so we can do 1 minus 11 over 20, which is 20 over 20 minus 11 over 20. That is totally a minus. Sorry, guys. Let me fix that. Where's my rubber? Okay. Which is, oops, deleted too many things, 9 over 20. If that was too difficult and you were thinking in terms of percentages, well, you know that the total of injuries for this case is 55%. So 100% minus 50, I did that again, minus 55% is 45%. And 45% can be written as 45 over 100, which is, when you simplify, 9 over 20. So whichever way you want, this is definitely faster because it's asking as a fraction. And remember, 100% is 1, then minus the other stuff. It gives us the leftover. And I think that's the last question. Oh no, question 20. Ooh, I'm gonna figure out how to make more space here. Okay, I'm just gonna do a random empty box. 1/4 of, lots of information, so let's write that down. So 1/4 of 200 year 8 students served at a blah blah school said that they were driven to school. So these guys are driven. And 30% arrived by bus. Now it's also the same group of 200, so I'm going to put that in. What fraction of students are not driven to school by bus? So we want 100% minus this group equals what we want. Okay, so because we want people that are not driven or by bus, so everybody else, so the whole 200 people minus these guys gives us what we want. So what does the question ask for? Fractions. So we're going to work in fractions. So a quarter and 30%. So we can write 100% is 1 minus a quarter and 30%. 30% is 3 out of 10. So minus a quarter, because we don't want to talk about people getting driven, and minus 3 over 10 people that are going by bus. So let me recap again. What fraction of students are not driven to school? So everybody is 1, a whole, minus the people that are driven, minus the people that are going by bus. So now we have to find a common denominator. So 4, 10, we'll do 20. So 20 out of 20 minus 4 times 5 times 5. 5 out of 20 minus times 2 times 2. 6 over 20. We have 20 minus 5 is 15. 15 minus 6 is 9 over 20. That's the quickest way to think about this. If you want to break it up slowly and think about what's going on, you can also do that. So you can count them. You can go, okay, quarter of 200. We know of means time. So a quarter is 50. So 50 students are driven. And 3 out of 10 of 200, that means times 200. We have 20. So we have 20 times 3 is 60. 60 are going by bus. So 110 students are going by bus or driven. So out of the 200 students, 90 kids are not driven or going by bus, not bus. So now the 90 as a fraction over the total is 90 over 200, and that simply simplifies to 99 over 20. So that's the same as what we got before. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I suggest that you get used to seeing that 1 is the same as 100%, because 100% means 100 out of 100, which is 1. Okay, that's it for me tonight. Good night.